Chapter 2, Lesson 7, on translations and reflections on the coordinate plane. Okay, the first thing we want to look at is what is a transformation? And a transformation is just an operation that changes an original geometric figure on the coordinate plane. So somehow there's a figure on there and somehow it gets changed, and that new figure is called the image of the original figure. Okay, one type of transformation, we're going to look at two, but one type of transformation is called a translation. So transformation is a big category, and translation is one type of transformation. And the type of transformation that it is when you slide a figure from one position to another without turning it. So it doesn't change shapes, it doesn't change sizes, it doesn't change the way it looks, it just goes from one place to another. So let's look at an example. Okay, we have a triangle here. We have a little blue triangle, A, B, C, and we are going to translate it. Remember, this is an example of a translation. So we're going to translate it. So let's take that triangle and let's move it up and over. So let's take that triangle and let's put the new point A. Let's count and let's put it, right now it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, -4. And let's move it up 5 places and over 2. So our new point A is going to be right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put an A with a little mark there, and that means that it's the new point A. And then we're going to say, okay, well, point B is 1, 2, 3 spaces above that. So we're going to put point B with the new image right here, and point C is 2 spaces over. So we're going to put the new C there. And now we have a new triangle that looks the same shape, same size. It has just slid to the other spot. All right? Now let's look at what our original coordinates were. For A, our original coordinate was -5, -4. For B, it was -5, -1. And for C, it was -3, -4. And then let's look at our new coordinates. Our new coordinates for A is -3, 0. Our new coordinate for B is -3, 3. And our new coordinate for C is -1, 0. And let's see if we can see a pattern here. All of our x values have all increased by 2, which means that I translated it 2 spots to the right. All of my y values, they have all increased by 4 places. Now, let's look a little bit more specifically at what happens to those coordinates. So, if we do a translation, if we translate up or down, right? So up or down, that is going to change our y coordinate. And so if I translate up, I'm going to add units to the y coordinate. And if I translate down, I'm going to subtract units from my y coordinate. Okay? And then if I translate left or right, that is then going to change my x coordinate. So if I go to the right, I add units to the x coordinate, and if I go to the left, I subtract the units from the x coordinate. So now let's look at what a reflection is. Again, a reflection is another type of transformation. And a reflection is when you flip a figure over a line called the line of symmetry. And the lines of symmetry that we're going to look at today are x and y axis. Now those aren't the only lines of symmetry, but that's what we're going to look at in our examples. So let's look at an example if we're going to reflect this triangle over the x-axis. So my A coordinate is right now at 2, -4. So I'm going to say, okay, so it is 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces away from the x-axis. Remember, this is my x-axis. This will be my line of symmetry. So I'm now going to put it 1, 2, 3, 4 spots on the other side of the x-axis. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other points. So I'm going to take B, and it's going to come up here. And I'm going to take C, and it's going to come 4 spaces on the other side as well. So now I have my new triangle, and I have my new C. I have my new point B up here at the top, and my new point A here. So let's look at our new coordinates. A is still at 2, but now instead of -4 at +4. B is still at 1, but at +7 instead of -7. And C is still at -3, but now at +4 instead of -4. Now let's write some rules of what happens each time we make a reflection and what happens to the coordinate. So if I reflect over the x-axis, the first thing is that the x-coordinates, this is what we just did, the x-coordinates are going to stay the same. And the y-coordinates are going to become opposites. So if it was 3, it would become -3. If it was -2, it would become 2. Become opposite values. And if we if we reflect over the y-axis, the opposite's going to happen. Our y-coordinates stay the same, and the x-coordinates become opposite. So if the x-coordinate was 5, it would be -5. If it was 2, it would become -2. If it was -8, it would become 8, and so on.